Hi dear Leos, welcome to my YouTube channel, and in this video I'm going to talk about the transits for the month of April. This year, April is quite busy because we got four major events happening in April, and that is Mercury retrograde, the solar eclipse in Aries, and then the rare Jupiter and Uranus conjunction, and finally we have a Scorpio full moon at the end of April. Also, what I needed to mention is Leos, normally April is a time when you focus on your worldviews, travel, like religion, spirituality, education. So this month will be very much about those themes. Okay, so let's begin. On the very first day of April, we have Mercury stationing retrograde on the 27th degree of Aries. And for you, dear Leos, this is happening in your ninth house. Okay, so ninth house matters will be affected by this Mercury retrograde. And normally, Mercury retrograde times are the times of misunderstandings because um, Mercury rules communication, so it's very easy to be misunderstood, to miscommunicate something, to say something in a way that you didn't mean, or like you not understanding others. It's like that kind of period. So entire April, I would say, like is not a it's not a good time to like, I don't know, sign contract agreement because those things tend to go like not as planned. Like let's say you sign a lease for an apartment for a year, right, to rent it, but then but then later find out that you have to move or like plans change, and then you end up like terminating the contract, or the other party might decide to change it, and so that kind of stuff. I'm not saying this will definitely happen to you. Don't worry, because Mercury retrograde is not happening in your house related stuff, but what it can mean is that the travel related documents might be delayed or something, because ninth house is the house of travel, faraway lands, and so this might be the time when you, I don't know, reapply for a visa, or like renewing your passport, or passport, not password, and then like other travel related documents. There might be either delays or like redoing something. Like let's say you apply and then the embassy requests some additional documents, so you go back to working on it, that kind of stuff. And for other Leos who are not really working on travel immigration documents, then this might be the time when you are and maybe you might have a misunderstanding with a foreigner or foreigners in general, because ninth house also rules foreigners. Maybe a misunderstanding because of language barriers. Again, foreign languages, ninth house theme. And so another thing is about Mercury retrograde is that the technology might glitch and stuff. Like I know someone whose fridge broke during Mercury retrograde. Like for some people, like their phone is acting up, like it's slow or something, or computers might be frustratingly slow. It's like that kind of period. And also, if you are thinking of traveling around this time, I would say be aware that the chances of flight delays, flight cancellations might increase around the Mercury retrograde time. In April, there's like higher chances for that to happen. And so if you are planning to travel, then make sure you check the airline policies in case of like the delayed flights or canceled flights, because sometimes they have to reimburse you for that, and normally public doesn't know that. But like you can check out TikTok, there are like lots of videos that explain those things. And another thing I need to mention about travel is that you should get one of those Apple Tag things for your suitcase in case the suitcase gets lost. Like luggage, tends to get lost a lot during Mercury retrograde too. So in order just to be safe, get one of those things. It's very useful. And so, yeah, generally stay flexible, be patient, and mindful of your words and actions during Mercury retrograde in the entire month of April. And what else do I need to mention? So, because this is happening in your ninth house, as I said, there might be like delays in terms of travel plans. There might be like reviewing of your worldview, because the ninth house is how we see the world. And so Mercury retrograde is like going back to something. Or maybe some foreigner that you knew from a long time ago might contact you out of nowhere. Because again, Mercury retrograde, like going back to some foreign acquaintance, I guess. So yeah, this is a major theme for Mercury retrograde in Aries for you guys. And another thing I need to mention about Mercury retrograde is we tend to get lost a lot, even when we're using Google Maps. Like last year, that happened to me, and it was so frustrating. I'm like, I'm following all the directions. Like, why am I still getting lost? And that is the Mercury retrograde trick. And another thing is, we tend to be much more forgetful during Mercury retrograde. So create like a mini checklist of the things you need before you leave the house or any other place. So make sure you have it with you. Because last year, during Mercury retrograde, I forgot my house keys at work. Like, who does that? Like, that never happens to me. But because of Mercury retrograde, I somehow forgot my keys at work. Like, I got home, I'm like, where are my keys? Like, what happened? And then I remembered that I put it somewhere on the table at work. And so yeah, like, be mindful of those things. In April, that is all coming up. And then after this, on April 4th or 5th, depending on where you live, Venus enters Aries until April 29th. So again, Venus will leave your house of finances and enter this travel house, education house, philosophical house, okay? And the Venus's presence in there brings like charm into those matters. And so, like, if you are planning during this period, well, Venus is in Aries, it might mean that you travel to a really beautiful place because Venus rules beauty and ninth house is travel. And also, generally, during Venus in Aries, all of us tend to become more bold, like more confident, and more assertive. Okay, so especially in romance, because Venus rules romance and Aries is assertiveness. So, dear Leos, single Leos, at this time you might have the courage to ask that person out, or maybe someone will ask you out because they finally have the courage to do so. Okay, so that can be the theme of Aries in Venus for you. After this, on April 8th, we have a new moon solar eclipse in Aries for you. And this one is exciting because it's happening in your fun house, like ninth house. I really like that house. It's a house of travel, education. It's like expanding your mind, like not like physically, literally, but like you get the idea. Maybe you travel and that's why your mind expands, like you understand life more and stuff like that. Maybe for some Leos it will be about religion. Maybe they start going to church or like convert and change their religion. This is like the time when like your worldview is altered significantly. For me, for example, when I was having eclipses in my ninth house, like that's when we got like our first digital TV, which had like many channels from around the world, especially American channels. And so while watching those, like, yeah, my worldview changed. I was like transformed. And then another time I had eclipses in my ninth house, I was at the university. And so all the knowledge that I gained, it's like, yeah, it changed the way I think about my work, so to speak. And so this is the stuff that you will be experiencing this year, dear Leos, like mind expansion. Some Leos might start learning a foreign language. Other Leos might be making friends with foreigners. Other Leos might be traveling to some new country for the first time. And for other Leos, it might be the time of like education, getting accepted into university, graduating from university, enrolling in some course, like improving your skills, basically, like knowledge and stuff. And for other Leos, it might be the time when you immigrate. Ninth house is a house of immigration, and preparing documents for immigration, visa, passports, all of that stuff is ninth house matters. And also, eclipses repeat every 18 years, so try to think back to 2005 and 2006, because that's when we had North Node in Aries and the eclipses in Aries. And so that might have been the time when you traveled to a new place for the first time. Maybe that was the time when you, I don't know, got accepted into bachelor's program, or maybe you finished the bachelor's program back then and stuff like that. And so the theme is repeating again. So huge focus on travel, your worldview, foreigners, okay, education, and religion, philosophy too. And then I'm going to make a separate video for the solar eclipse in a couple of days, so please do check it out. I'll try to give more details in that video. I'm trying to keep this one short. And then, so on April 11th, we have Sun conjunct Mercury retrograde in Aries on the 22nd degree of Aries. Now, this one marks an important period in the Mercury retrograde because, you know, Mercury starts retrograding when it gets too far away from the sun, and so slowly it starts going back towards the sun. And so on April 11th is when they meet, okay? And after this conjunction, Mercury will be behind the sun. And so, another thing about this conjunction is that normally when Mercury is conjunct the sun in direct motion, the Mercury is on the other side of the sun, like from Earth's point of view. But when it's retrograde and conjunct, it means Mercury is between the sun and the Earth. And so whatever clarity, whatever information we kind of like download from the sun is internalized, like a so it's more like clarity, big ideas within, okay? And maybe you will come to some understanding. And also this will be around the time when like passionate speeches are made. Think of like Hitler, the infamous person, so Hitler, he had Mercury in Aries, and remember how passionately he spoke. And so yeah, right now this Mercury retrograde might mean the time when we'll see people speaking passionately like that. And so also like remember the general theme here, it's like remember to compromise, okay? And so after this, on April 19th, the sun will enter Taurus until May 19th. And so the focus will shift slowly from travel, education stuff to your career stuff, like work related, your social status, bosses, your father figures, authoritative figures, that kind of stuff. That's the house of that. And also it's the house of social status, your life purpose, okay? And since this transit is like annual, every year you get the sun in your 10th house, and that's so far it's all, everything is normal. Don't expect anything like earth-shattering. But then like right after the sun enters Taurus, on April 20th, we have the conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus, okay? It will be on the 21st degree of Taurus. So Leos, those of you who were born like around August 12th, 13th, you are going to feel the square from that conjunction, but still it's going to be good, don't worry. And so this conjunction is very rare. It happens once every 14 years. Last time we had this conjunction was when Uranus was still in Aries and Jupiter was in Aries. So that was like 2010, 2011. And so think back about that time. Like what happened to you regarding your travel, philosophy, religion, worldview, because the conjunction happened in that house for you, the house that I just talked about. And so there might have been like an opportunity to travel suddenly to some unexpected place, and it might have been like very exciting, very adventurous. And but now this time for you, the conjunction is happening in your career house. So maybe there will be like a burst of excitement regarding something about work, adventure, bold changes, okay? Because remember, Jupiter expands in a positive way, like positive development, and Uranus is sudden, okay? And like sudden things, like sudden surprises, sudden changes. And it's also a very futuristic planet, like it rules science, technology, avant-garde, like future stuff. And so development, like expansion towards like better future. And like in your case, it's in your career house. So something exciting might be happening at work, or maybe something regarding your social status. So Leos, that should be very exciting. And then, but right after this, one day after this conjunction, we have a bit of a crappy aspect. The Sun in Taurus will be making a square aspect to Pluto in Taurus on the 2nd degree. And so this one might be a bit tense, I'll be honest. Maybe a sense of like power struggles, but thankfully, this transit is very short-lived. Like it's gonna be active for like 3 or 4 days maximum. So there's no need to worry. And then on April 23rd, we have a full moon in Scorpio, on the 4th degree of Scorpio. And dear Leos, for you, that is your 4th house. The sun will be shining in your 10th house of career. The full moon will be illuminating your house of home, literally, the place you live at. And so, full moons are about culminations, illumination, clarity, achievement. And so something regarding your home life might be coming to like, I don't know, like mini culmination. Maybe some clarity, maybe something regarding one of your parents in their life, something coming to a culmination in their lives, because those two houses, the 4th and 10th houses, rule our parents, and the 1st house is said to rule our mother, okay? And generally, people are moody, emotional around the time of full moons, and so be aware of that. Okay, so if you feel emotional, if you feel like everyone else is acting emotional, it's because of the full moon. Like emergency workers, policemen, they know that like around full moons people tend to act a bit odd. And even the word lunatic itself comes from the word luna, the moon. And so yeah, end of April is like lunatic time. And another thing about this full moon is that it's the first full moon since the Libra lunar eclipse in March. And so sometimes the effects of the eclipse tend to play out during the next lunation. So if you thought like, oh, we had an eclipse in March, but nothing happened, this is all BS, but no, like for you, this might be this might play out around this full moon, okay? And what else? So after this, on April 25th, Mercury goes direct in Aries. Finally, like no more misunderstandings, no more confusion, no more forgetting things, no more getting lost. And but I wouldn't jump to signing contracts right away. I would say wait until May, or at least like better, even better, like wait until mid-May to sign contracts, because after that, um, because by middle of May, Mercury will be out of the shadow zone. It will be in its perfect shape, good speed, like yeah. It's hard to explain it, but like when Mercury is in shadow zone, it's still like a bit glitchy. Next, on April 29th, Venus enters Taurus until May 23rd. Now, this is good because um, Venus will enter your career house, so it will bring charm to your social status, and also dealing with authority figures will be much easier because Venus will be giving you this compromising energy, like charming energy. You will be able to charm them. So if you need to ask for something, for some promotion or salary raise, I would say do so while Venus is in your 10th house. All right. And then on April 30th, Mars enters Aries until June 9th. And so Mars will bring its energetic, super hyper energy into your house of travel, foreigners, um, education, all right, and worldview. So there might be more action going on. Like maybe if you travel around this time, like in May, let's say, maybe you'll travel to a place where like you'll be active, like maybe a place where you'll go hiking or like something like that. It won't be the kind of vacation where you just lie on the beach. Like, yeah. So Mars will be bringing that energy into your travel house. So, dear Leos, this is it for the month of April, and as I said, at the beginning of the month, we will start with Mercury retrograde. So expect confusion, delays, miscommunications, and then we're gonna have a new moon solar eclipse in your ninth house. So the possibility of travel, immigration increases. Like it gives like blessings, like green light. Because remember, this solar eclipse is happening on North Node, so that means we're like accepting here. Like we are open to new energy, like open to expansion. It's a South Node eclipse where we have to like give up, sacrifice something, let go of something. But here, North Node, we're like, yeah, in the receiving end. And then, so what did I say? Like Jupiter and Uranus conjunction in your career house, in your social status house. This is a very rare conjunction. We're not gonna have a conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus in our lifetime. It's gonna happen like 80 something years later. So do enjoy this transit. And finally, at the end of the month, we have a full moon. So end of April might be a bit emotional. But don't worry, the effect of the full moon is not gonna last for a long time. It's gonna be at its maximum 4 days after, like, I mean, in the 4 days after the full moon. And so by the end of April, we should be back to calm. And remember that we are in the eclipse season. So the energies are tense a bit, like not necessarily in a bad way. And it's hectic. Our routine tends to be like, turned upside down in some cases during the eclipse season, but don't worry, like we're gonna be back to normal, or let's say we'll get used to the new normal by the middle of May. All right, the dust will settle by then. And so this is it for April. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in my solar eclipse video and in my May video. All right, Thank you. Bye.